Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory and honor and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Gwadash, Rakatham. Double honors to my apostles, great millstone, and salutations to the Akim in the four corners of the earth who's pushing this truth and sincerity, love, diligence, respect, fear, and trembling. This is Atazawam coming back with another German fruit of knowledge through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God or Yahweh. His true name is Yahweh, and it means He is or He to be. Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, or a false interpretation of His name, Yahweh Shai, they say Yeshua or Yeshua. His true name is Yahweh Shai, and His name is interpreted in the Hebrew, both names in the Hebrew interpreted, He delivers or He saves. Those are the names you want to call upon in these last days, that you can be protected from the evil, the snares that are about to come on this world, beginning with the famines, the pestilences, the martial law, the Jacob's trouble, the charagma. You want to pray to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, that you're not tempted and fall weak in these last days. And that name, if you pray to that name, and if you believe in that name, I have 100% no doubt that the Lord will hear your prayers, man. Yahweh Shai said, ask and ye shall receive. Okay? So if you truly believe in Yahweh Bashem El Shai and you believe in His truth, you have to pray to those names for wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and ultimately for protection. Okay? So, I just recently did a video, as you can see, an hour ago, my latest video. The light of knowledge is not for the masses. And I was going into on how this knowledge is not for 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Okay? Yahweh Bashem El Shai has to wake you up. You don't wake. It ain't like you don't find the Lord. See, the Lord is, He's here. Okay? You can't just find this truth. The Lord has to open your mind to this truth. You see? Just like I read in the past video, Luke 24 and 44. He opened up the minds of the prophets, the disciples, to understand the scriptures. Okay? So if you don't understand the words of this book, it's because Yahweh Bashem El Shai did not reveal the secrets or the mysteries unto you. Okay? In fact, when you read the scriptures, it's a stumbling block. Okay? So, I went into Romans 11 and 25, and I want to go back over this precept real quick and go into the definition, all right, and check out some of the scriptures that has the same definition. So, Romans 11 and 25, we're going to get into it. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery. What's the mystery? Now, going back into this time, all right, it was speaking about the mystery of the Gentiles. Okay? See, back in the ancient world, you had those Jews that didn't believe that the scattered Israelites could come back into the fold. So it was a big battle that was going on back then. In that same battle of the Israelite foreigners, the scattered Israelites on the four corners of the earth, it's that same battle you have the circumcision, who the circumcision today would be the Israelites that know that they're Israel. And they are not accepting the northern kingdom. Okay? They're not accepting that the Israelites will look like another nation. Because they were blinded. You see? Back then, the Jews didn't accept the scattered Israelites because they wasn't born up in the customs. But see, that was blindness because they didn't understand they didn't understand Isaiah, the 11th chapter, where the Lord was going to be an ensign to gather the scattered Israelites from different parts of the world and to bring them back into the fold. And just like now today, Israel is blinded to the true understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua in this message. Okay? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, the truth. Amos 3:7, he revealeth his secrets unto the servant the prophets. Okay? A mystery is a secret. Okay? Lest ye should be wise in your own conceits. Alright? And being wise in your own conceits is what? Being proud. High-minded. Alright? You got a lot of Israelites who done went to fucking theological school and these institutions of Babylon. So their minds have been corrupted by the dogma of Babylon. So when you come to the prophets, when we give you the understanding of who you are, your nationality, and so on and so forth, and the power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you know, who's to be delivered. These people are wise in their own conceit. You know? They refuse it and they reject it. And that's why the scripture speaks about 2/3 of our people shall be cut off. Because 2/3 are not going to hear this word. And ultimately, it's because the Lord didn't give it to them. Okay? So it says that blindness in part is happened to Israel. See? So at this time where we're at is we're going to have Israelites that are blind. Not physically blind, spiritually blind. That blindness is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. You see? So when would the fullness of the Gentiles be come in? This is ultimately talking about the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Because Paul knew that all of the Israelites in the end will be saved. And they're going to understand in the next world to come. You see? Just like our families. You wonder, like I said, you wonder why Big Mama don't understand this. You wonder why your pops don't understand this. You see? Because the Lord hid this truth. Okay? Now the scripture says you can't put new wine in old bottles. So that's another reason why a lot of our older folk won't come into this truth. Because you can't put new wine in old bottles. Okay? Because that old bottle was filled up with that old dogma, that old philosophy, that old understanding. So when you come with this truth, because this is, you know, in this generation is in a sense new. You know? It's new. And by the teachings of man, it hindered Jake from this truth. But once again, ultimately it came from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua blinding them. So I want to go into this blind. Or I want to go back to the root word. Okay? The metaphor of it says to make the heart dull, to grow hard, callous, become dull, lose the power of understanding. And this is very heavy. Losing the power of understanding. Because the scripture says, with all thy getting, get understanding. Okay? Remember Luke 24:44, he said, then he opened up their minds that they may understand the scriptures. Okay? You can read the scriptures day in and day out, front to back, sideways, upside down. But if he don't reveal that understanding, okay, you won't understand this thing. In fact, it'll be a stumbling block into you. Okay? So, what I did was, after that lesson, went back into the Greek lexicon and came to some scriptures that hits with this blindness. And I may just name this, I don't know, going into the word blindness or something to that effect. Okay? So, check this out. Let's, okay. Which is G4456. So as you can see, the word hardened goes back to this root word
Strong's G4456, porao.
parao.
Porao.
Parao. which ultimately means what? Lose the power of understanding. They won't understand this truth. So let's get into some of these precepts that's on this in this Greek lexicon. John 12 and 40. And you know what? This John 12 and 40 is a precept to Matthew the 13th chapter. So we're going to read it because it's the same thing I read in the last video. Okay. This is pretty heavy. Let's goes in back since it had light shining upon us in darkness. Okay, so this is John 12 and 35. It says, Then Yahushua said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Now remember that light is Yahushua. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. See? So that light is Yahushua. And that light is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. You see, we want to be a part of that light, the understanding to what's going on. Okay? The prophecies. Right? These things spake Yahushua and departed and did hide himself from them. Okay? So that light is this truth. Ultimately, Yahushua, but it comes in the form of what is known as the Habakkuk, as we call it, beginning with the apostles of Great Millstone, which is the Holy Spirit, or also known as the Comforter. Okay? So we want to be children of the light, which is children of the knowledge and understanding. It says, But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. Yeah, because that darkness took them over. You know? It says, Lest darkness come upon you. See? So Jake is in a constant state of darkness. Okay? Which is what? Delusion. A strong delusion. Verse 38, that the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who have believed our report? And to whom had the arm of the Lord been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, He hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. See, because their hearts is hardened, is blinded. It's a callus, like calluses that hardened skin, from working out. You hit them weights and you working out, and you start to develop that callus on your hands, and it's hard. It's hard as hell. So that's spiritual hardness to your mind. When the words try to hit and pierce through, there's no way getting through it because it's hardened. And that's the Lord. The Lord is hardening the minds of the Jake, the 2/3, so the truth won't penetrate them. It's not pinching through. Okay? They ain't pinching through the right way, how it's supposed to. For the elect, when we hear these words, we believe instantly. So you ain't got no, we don't need to be out there, going crazy, trying to stopping people to give them the scriptures, and hey, brother, you're Israelite. You ain't got to do all that. The word is going to draw. Okay? That word is going to draw the people. Okay? In fact, real quick, where does it say, Ye have not chosen me, but I've chosen you? We don't choose this. The Lord gave this to us. Oh my goodness, the fuck. skipping words. Letters, I mean. John 15:16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. Woo, and that covered my intro. See? In the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, whatever you ask in the name, he's going to give it to you. So if you got that name and you want to ask for understanding and wisdom, it'll be granted. If you want protection from the angels, if you want protection from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai from this destruction, you better call on that name. Okay? But going back into the verse, the topic, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. So the Lord is the one who gives out this understanding. He chose who he chose to be the prophet. He chose me to be a prophet. That's why I'm giving out what the Lord has put in my spirit. But you got Jakes that won't be able to do this because the Lord didn't choose them. You see? Let's go back into that blindness. Let's go back in blindness. Let's go. Where we at? Where is it? Here we go. G44:5-7. 5-6. Okay, I'm in the root word of blindness. Harden. All right. Let's get another precept out of there. Look, to cover with a thick skin, to harden by covering with a callus. Yeah, so basically, you can say these people have a callus. Calluses over their ears and calluses over their eyes. You see? Spiritual blinding. Where we at? Okay, John 12:4. I just got that. Let's go to Romans 11:7. I read that in my last lesson. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded. See? Israel have not obtained what he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay? Because Jake out here searching. You got the black conscious community, you got Kemet, and you got all these different sects out here. You got the Islam with all them different sects, and you got Christianity with all this different sects. And majority of these religions is filled up with the Israelites because they know that there's a power. But see, the Lord is dropping them off on where he want to drop them off at. You see? That's why Timothy says ever learning, right? Let's get that. Ever learning but not able to come to the understanding, man. 2 Timothy, in the 3rd chapter, in the 7th verse, it says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. See? Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Why is that? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai blinded them. Alright? It ain't that, this really ain't too deep to understand. But then again, you know, it's plain unto them that have understanding. You see? Let's go. Let's see if I can pull out some more from this word blindness. What other scriptures will pop up? Check this out. Ephesians 4:18. I didn't even try to go to this. I tried to go to the lexicon, but let's go into this Ephesians 4. This is dealing with Moses, right? Where is that at where it said that they won't be able to see into the future? Okay, I thought this was that, but it's not. But that's fine. I'm gonna read it because it is proving a point. So it says the Christian walk. Ephesians 4:17. We'll start from 17. This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as the other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind. Okay? Don't walk like the heathens. All right. Don't be in that Gentile state of mind. Okay, the vanity of their mind, wickedness, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart. See? So you have the Israelites, the Gentiles, all right, which we're surrounded by the Gentiles, which is what, 2/3 of Jake. They're classified as the Gentiles because they don't have the truth. Okay? Why though? It says having the understanding darkened. See? You got to have that understanding bright. Their understanding is darkened. Being alienated, right? Strangers from the life of the Most High through the ignorance that is in them. See? Because of the blindness of their heart. So the scriptures speak about being willingly ignorant. All right? Willingly ignorant. We telling them that death and destruction is coming. All right? And through their ignorance, they just push it all away. Push it to the side. Because their pineal gland, so to speak, is covered. All right? Their third eye has been covered. Really, this is like, you know, your third eye is being shielded from the truth. See, because of the blindness of their heart, yeah, the blindness of their mind, because of what? They're into all wickedness, and it's only set up by Yahweh Shem Shai. So check it. It says, verse 19, who being past feeling have given themselves over into lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. Yeah, this is the mindset of Jake. But ye have not so learned Hamashiach. Right. He's going into cleansing your ways, you Gentiles in Ephesus. You was walking in past the Gentile state of mind. But now when you hear about this truth, you got to come into this truth. And don't go back into what? Them old ways. So it says, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. Okay, so when you come into this truth, you got to become a new man. You're no longer blinded. You see, and a lot of Jake's been take for granted the truth, man. When you have this truth, you ain't supposed to go back into the world. You ain't supposed to go back into that old lifestyle, that old mentality. Okay, the Lord illuminated you. You know, He illuminated you. Remember, illumination, Illuminati. It means a light bearer. Okay, those that can see in the dark. Right? It says, Hebrews 10:31, it says, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Yes, it is. But call to remembrance the former days in which after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of affliction. Yeah, when you woke up to this truth, I quoted it in my last lesson. He that turneth from wickedness, roughly paraphrasing, shall make himself a prey. Okay, so when you get your when the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Shah, by the way of the holy angels, first and foremost, opens up your understanding, you become illuminated. But when you become illuminated, you have scriptures like, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Now you're wise. Now you understand the condition you're in. You see? When you turn away from wickedness, it says you become a prey. Just building off of ye endured a great fight of afflictions. You know? I ain't got to get it. You know what that's talking about. When you depart from wickedness, you know, you make yourself a prey. So you start going through all hell and, so on and so forth. You get part of you're a part of that picking up the cross, if you will. All right. So yeah, let's go back. Okay, so we got that up out of there. Romans 11:25. Let's go back to Romans 11:25 because we're still dealing with the word blindness. Okay, we're still dealing with the word blindness. In fact, okay, we can read these precepts off, right? For they, Mark 6:52, for they consider not the miracles of the loaves, for their heart was hardened. Okay, they were blinded. And if I'm not mistaken, this is dealing with the disciples. Hey, because the disciples had to come up on a level because they were blinded from certain miracles and certain things in this truth, man. So, hey, could you come into this truth and be, in a sense, blinded to certain spiritual things of this truth? Yeah. But eventually the Lord will put you up on a level that you can know what all things. So the disciples, they were students, and so they didn't understand certain things. But now when the Lord, what he say? He had breathed upon them. He gave them the knowledge. All right. Mark 8:17. And when Yahushua knew it, he said unto them, why reason ye because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand? Yeah, you ain't seeing what's going on through the spirit. You don't understand what's going on in the spirit. Have ye your heart yet hardened? So this is when he was getting at the disciples, man. Okay, because they was lacking faith. I want to go back. Yeah, lacking faith, and he had to get on them. So their minds was hardened or blinded to certain things. Well, just like reincarnation with John the Baptist being Elijah. They didn't understand. But until he began to go deeper with them, and they begin to understand. Okay? John 12:40, I read that earlier. Romans 11:7, I read that earlier. Okay? 2 Corinthians 3:14. Yeah, here we go. I know I made mention of this. 2 Corinthians 3:14. This is what I've been thinking about concerning Moses. Here we go. This is 2 Corinthians 3:13. It says, and not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. You see? So they didn't have that foresight, that vision, the eye salve. Okay? Because they were blinded. It says, but their minds were blinded. See? For until this day remaineth that same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Hamashiach. You see, you got Israelites that still have a veil upon them, who claim to be Israelites. You got these Jakes out here talking about you can have sex on the Sabbath. Their minds is blinded. Now they know that they're Israelites and they have understanding of certain scriptures, But when they're reading the scriptures, they still get confused, and the Lord hardened their minds to certain truths. So that lets me know it's levels to this truth, man. There's levels to this. But their minds were blinded, for until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Hamashiach. See? So the believing in Yahweh Bashim El Shai, that veil will be taken away. But guess what? Jake's minds is hardened. Jake's minds has a big ass callus over both pupils, so to speak. Or really, I should have said that they have a callus or a thick skin covering over their third eye. Really, the understanding of this truth, your spiritual eye, or what is known as the third eye, has to be opened. And the only one who can open it is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? And he opened it when he breathed upon the 12. He breathed on them. Okay, so that's, you know what? I know where it's at. It gotta be in John. It gotta be in John. Let's go back here. There we go. Let's go to John. Let's check out 21 first. Okay, it's not in 21. You gotta be in 20 then. I know it's in John. Here we go. Dwadi Habashim Shai. So this is John 20. And let me get to the point. 22. And when he had said this, no. I gotta read into that. You gotta read into it. I'm gonna start from 19. Yahweh Shai among his disciples. Now this is when he resurrected. This is John 20 and 19. It says, Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled, for fear of the Jews, came Yahushua, and stood in the midst, and saith unto them, Peace be upon you. And when he had said, he shewed unto them his hands and his side. Then were the disciples glad when they saw the Lord Yahushua. Then said Yahushua to them again, Peace be unto you. As my Father has sent me, even so send I you. So therefore he made them apostles to be sent forth. And when he had said this, he breathed on them, and saith unto them, Receive ye the Holy Spirit. You see that? So he breathed upon them the breath of life. Okay? That's what he breathed upon them, the truth, the understanding. He didn't blow his breath. He gave them the knowledge and understanding of the scriptures. That's what it means by receive ye the Holy Spirit. All right? Adam had that breath in Genesis, the 2nd chapter. It said it made him a living soul. Now, he was already alive. What does it mean by a living soul? When you a living soul is those that have the knowledge, those that are living. We're living through Yahushua because he's in us. All right. So when he had said this, he breathed on them and saith unto them, Receive ye the Holy Spirit. Okay. That's the wisdom. That's the knowledge, and everybody don't get that. All right. It's something called predestination. Everybody don't get that, man. Let's get that out the apocrypha. It keep popping in my head. I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon 7. Let's try 14. Nope. 24. Wisdom of Solomon 7:24. It says, For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by the reason of her pureness. Okay, it's talking about wisdom, which is the knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Shai. For she is the breath. There we go. See that? For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Man, that's bad. So that breath is a representation of power and understanding and wisdom. Therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her. Okay? Yeah, none shall want her mate. No other book can compare to the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shem Shai through the one and only Bible. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of His goodness. See? With that wisdom, see, there's two type of images. You got the image of the beast, then you got the image of the Yahweh Shem Shai in His wisdom, the breath of life. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. You see that? That's bad right there. So that breath that the Lord gave unto His disciples, then sent them forth, became apostles. It's the same breath that He gave to all the prophets from the generations prior, and all the way until today. Read that last verse in 27. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and in all ages, entering into the holy souls. See? So, throughout the different ages, the different carnations, the Lord gives the prophets that wisdom all over again. If you was a prophet back in ancient world, you're a prophet now. She maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. See that? In all ages, that spirit comes back. It say in Daniel, I believe, is going back, coming into your own lot, right? Yep, this is Daniel 12 and 13. It says, "Be go thou thy way till the end, for thou shalt rest." Yeah, we're going to be put back in the spirit world, right? "And stand in thy lot at the end of the days." See? So when the end of the days come, you're going to go back into your same lot. That's the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shem Shai. Everybody ain't going to receive that. See? That's why blindness in part has happened to Israel. Alright? Blindness. Let's read that again. "For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. And so all Israel shall be saved." See that? All Israel. What are you Christians talking about? 2/3 got to go on this side, but eventually all Israel will be saved. That is the covenant that the Lord gave to Abraham, man, when He spoke of the inheritance, the promises. All Israel eventually are going to be delivered. I mean, not delivered, pardon me. Salakia. All Israel will be in the kingdom of heaven and saved. Alright? Because Yahweh Shai came first and foremost to die for the elect. Alright? Overall, He died for the children of Israel. But when you go a little deeper, it's for the first fruits first. The first elect. Then it goes down to the nation. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, "There shall come out of Sion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob." Yeah, so that's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. But where we at right now, 2/3 are blind. Okay? Padaros, or however you say that word. Okay? Let's get, I'm going to close out on this real quick. Man, that's in, oh, here we go, 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians, 4th chapter. This is 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. "But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the power of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not." See? "Lest the light," there go that light again, "lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shem Shai, who is the image," there go that image again, "of the Most High," like I said, should shine unto them." So if our gospel be hid, it is hidden so they're not lost, because the power of this world, Esau, Edom, spiritual demon Satan, has blinded their minds. See? And it was ultimately by the Heavenly Father. He used Esau to blind the minds of a lot of you Israelites. Okay? At least the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. Yeah. Because there's a certain period where we were blinded. The gospel was hid. We were lost. Then the Lord tapped us on the shoulder, so to speak. Follow me, this is the way. You know? Coming back in your own lot. So, like I said, this truth, alright, this knowledge, this light of knowledge, is not for the masses, it's only for the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Beginning with the men all the way down to the women and children. Because you have women that do believe, and they can see what the sea hip is, they understand World War III and death is coming and all of that. You know, you got something called the elect woman, so hell, the elect woman has, you know, got a piece of this good treasure as well, you know, by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So you know what? That's pretty much it. Like I said, this was just, I had read that precept earlier, so I went back to it. That Romans 11 and 24. But that's pretty much it. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakadash Barakathum. That one to my apostle, great millstone, citation to the icon, the four corners of the earth, pushing truth, sincerity. Shalom.